What's up, everybody? Today's a pretty simple and straightforward video. I'm going to be doing a tier list for all the areas in Super Mario Sunshine, so let's just jump into it. The first area that we have is very straightforward. It's the airstrip in the very beginning of the game, and we also have like extra shines to get in that area later on, but I really don't have much to say about it. It's not a terrible area to start the game and to also have some extra stuff at the end, but I don't really care that much about it or have a super strong opinion, so it is going to go right into C. Moving on. Now that we have that one out of the way, we can actually move on to the first area, I guess, of the game, and that's Bianco Hills. Now, what I kind of think about when I'm trying to decide which areas I like, I kind of take a few things into account. One, is it fun to explore? Like, is it an enjoyable time to just run around the area and mess around? And then there's also the shine sprites or the missions themselves. Are those fun or are they super annoying? And if you know anything about Super Mario Sunshine, there's a lot of annoying missions, so be prepared. And then the other thing I also think about is the music. Now, generally speaking, I like the music in pretty much every level. Like, I don't think any song sounds so bad or out of place, but there's definitely songs that I like better than others. But as far as Bianco Hills goes, I would say it has pretty good music. I'd say overall, Bianco Hills is a pretty fun area to explore. There's nowhere to really fall. Like, there's one area where you can kind of look down and see Ricco Harbor. I would assume if you jumped off that, you're dead. But other than that, other than going out of bounds, essentially, you can't really die other than getting hit too many times by enemies, or I guess drowning. And as far as the missions go, I feel like there aren't any missions that I don't like in Bianco Hills. The only thing that annoys me is just having to fight Petey Piranha twice. I feel like if they could have just had you fight Petey Piranha once and then think of some other unique mission, that would have made Bianco Hills more enjoyable. And then it does have a couple of secret missions, which, I mean, those aren't anything too crazy. I'm not very good at the secret missions, so I do occasionally die on those, despite it being the first area, but nothing too crazy or too overly difficult about this, and that's another reason why it's kind of the perfect starting area. I guess I really don't have anything that bad to say about it, but because it's also such an ordinary area, like nothing too crazy, and we're just trying to get our feet wet at the beginning of the game, yeah, I think I'm gonna put it in B tier. Maybe I'll move it later on. Next, we have Ricco Harbor. Now, I absolutely love the vibes of this area. The music is really catchy. I think it's a really fun area to explore despite all of the water. The only downside is it has a couple of missions that I'm not a fan of, and those are both of the blooper missions. Not Gooper Blooper, because Gooper Blooper is easy to fight, although he does suffer from, you know, some Petey Piranha syndrome, having two fights in the same area, and then another fight later on, but we'll talk about that later. But no, what I don't like, I don't mind Gooper Blooper. He's easy to defeat. What I do mind are the bloopers that you ride, because they could have just made it easy on you. Like, this is the second area of the game, and if you crash while on a blooper, it's an automatic death, and I just think that that's ridiculous. It adds unnecessary stress to the missions that they're in. I absolutely hate it, and like, honestly, the blooper missions are probably what prevents this from being an S tier for me, because like I said, I freaking love this area. The music is great. It's fun to just run around in, going on the girders or exploring other parts, or like in the sewers or in the water. There's like an obstacle course like above the entire area. The boats are cool looking, and you know, the blue coins even can be fun to find there. So like, it's really just those ridiculous dumb blooper missions that make me have a slight disdain for Ricco Harbor. But despite the blooper missions, I do need to give it its flowers. I'm gonna put it in A tier, because even though it makes me more mad than Bianco Hills does, I do think it's a better area overall. And, you know, maybe the blooper thing is just a skill issue. Fine, I'm willing to admit that. Next, we have Gelato Beach. I'd say overall, this is a pretty enjoyable area, in my opinion, but I feel like this might be one of the harder ones to place for me, though, because overall, it's really nice. It's a beach, you know, like this is kind of Super Mario Sunshine Sunshine's theme is tropical, and I don't think really any of these areas get more tropical than Gelato Beach. The only thing is that, okay, one, the 8th mission with the Watermelon Festival, we all know that sucks, but I also really don't like the red coins on the reef. Is that the coral reef? I think it's something like that. The 2 red coins that swim away from you specifically, those are so freaking irritating because they can clip through the rocks and everything, or the reef. I just do not like that red coin mission. It's easily one of my least favorite red coin missions in the whole game. But I guess the difference between Gelato Beach's annoying missions and like annoying missions in Rico Harbor is that the annoying missions in Rico Harbor can cause death. The annoying levels in Gelato Beach are just tedious, but they're not really going to lead you to dying. It's just going to be frustrating because it's going to potentially take you longer than it should to complete a mission. And I really do like the Il Piantissimo race. I like the Sandbird level, even though it's kind of infamous for being just kind of a whack mission in general. And even fighting the big worm and knocking off those cataquacks off of the reflector thingies and what have you. I mean, overall, Gelato Beach is pretty enjoyable. So I think I'm just going to throw it right into B tier with Bianco Hills. I'll actually put it above Bianco Hills, but they're still pretty much the same to me in terms of how much I enjoy them. Now, the next area is Pina Park. I'm just gonna say it right out. Pina Park is probably my favorite area in the whole game. However, it does suffer a little bit from not being as explorable as other areas because it is kind of just condensed into the park itself. And I mean, you do have that side area where you do some different missions here and there to change it up, but I feel like Pina Park's vibe and the different missions in it kind of put it above the other areas in that way. You literally get to fight a big Bowser robot while riding a roller coaster. How is that not awesome? And there's also the level where you have to get to the top of the Ferris wheel by going through an obstacle course, but my favorite thing to do is just cheese it and get up to a really high point and then just hover across the Ferris wheel, and then I'm able to get onto the area and just skip the whole obstacle course. I kid you not, I've probably only done the obstacle course like once or twice in my life, and I've played Super Mario Sunshine a lot. And I don't really have any complaints about the secret area or even the missions like I mentioned earlier where you kind of go off to the side and you stay on the beach without even entering the park itself. Those can actually be pretty fun, throwing bombs at that mole guy or stomping down those weird turtle things and saving the sunflowers from being killed by them, I guess. I just think Pina Park has a lot of really fun missions. It's an area I always look forward to, so I'm gonna put it right into S tier. Next up is Sirena Beach. I feel like I don't like this area as much as the average Joe. I do appreciate it for what it is, but I really don't like the Manta fight at the beginning. I find that fight to be so obnoxious. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world, and admittingly, when I was younger, I struggled hard with it, so it made me mad that it was the first mission in the area. And I do think the King Boo fight is pretty fun, despite the RNG for it being kind of annoying. But overall, I think what makes it not that enjoyable for me is the mission where you have to try and get that shine, and by doing that, you have to go through the vents and find all these secret areas, and some people might enjoy that, but I just find it to be more time-consuming and annoying. As far as the overall vibe, though, and explorability of the area, I mean, it's not terrible. I mean, you have the outside of the hotel and you have the inside of the hotel. It's pretty straightforward. I do enjoy the vibe of like the sun kind of setting, and the music is kind of nice sounding, but it also has kind of a spooky feel to it because of all the ghosts in the hotel. So while this area does have good vibes, I feel like the missions can be kind of a mixed bag. I think I'll put it in B tier, and it'll be lower than Bianco Hills and Gelato Beach. So the next area we have is Noki Bay, and I feel like the Noki Bay hate is kind of forced. I do understand understand that there are some levels that are kind of dumb, and like having to fight Gooper Blooper again is just so out of left field, and there are a lot of really brutal blue coins to find. I do think overall though the missions for Noki Bay are pretty fun. I know a lot of people don't like the Ely Mouth's dentist mission, and while that mission can be annoying, I think it's a funny idea. Like, I don't have a problem with it conceptually. I also don't mind the red coin in a bottle mission. That's another mission that a lot of people hate on, but I really don't think it's that hard. Like, sure, it's a little finicky, but I mean, it's not terrible. And honestly, I'd rather do red coins in a bottle way more often than red coins on the coral reef. I will say the Shell's secret mission it's pretty tough, but overall, I really don't feel like I die on it that much. It's more so just kind of a lengthy obstacle course, and obviously not having flood doesn't make life any easier, but I really don't find it that hard. It more so just takes a while, and it can be a little nerve-wracking though, because it can be really easy to fall off. But overall, I do like Noki Bay a lot. Its music is really good. Yeah, there's a little bit more, I guess, vertical traversing and things like that, but overall, I really do like it, and I think people kind of hate on it too much, so I'm gonna put it in A tier. Now we have Pianta Village, and Pianta Village is probably one of the harder areas for me to think about what my opinion is of it. It does have some good missions, and I do like the Piantissimo race in that one. It's probably my favorite race in the whole game. And I do really like the chain chomp levels, like with the little chain chomps that you're shooting into the water, and then you have to drag that really big chain chomp into the bath and everything, and then he turns gold. And I also do like cleaning off all the Piantas, and I mean, I don't know how they're surviving with the hot goop on them. They should be burning alive at that point. But as far as the explorability goes with Pianta Village, I mean, this is where I feel like it struggles, because yeah, it does have an area underneath it, but I don't really like that area. That area is stressful. I feel like I'm always gonna fall off of the mushrooms or the, whatever, those things that you can kind of climb on and stuff. I feel like I'm always gonna just press the wrong button and just fall to my doom. So because I don't like the under area, all that's left is the above area, and I just don't find the above area all that interesting. Like, sure, there's some really large trees that you can climb amongst other things, but I mean, it's just kind of plain. Like, I really don't care for Pianta Village all that much, and the cherry on top of the poopy sundae is the secret mission. Not only do you need to use Yoshi to get to it, but the mission requires having perfect angles for Piantas to throw you, and the amount of times I have gotten a game over because the Pianta kept throwing me off of the stage and not to the next area is just ridiculous, and I absolutely hate that secret mission. It's easily my least favorite, and it's ironic because it's one of the more unique secret missions, if not the most unique secret mission. Like I said with the bloopers in Rico Harbor, it's probably just a skill issue, but I still maintain that I do not like Pianta Village very much, so I'm just gonna put it in C tier because it does have some redeeming missions, but overall I just don't like the area and I don't look forward to playing it. I will put it above the airstrip though. So there's Corona Mountain, and I mean, I get why it's on this list because it is technically an area in the game, but it's hard to compare it to the other areas. It's kind of similar to the airstrip in that you don't really do that much outside of getting blue coins, which a lot of them are very annoying to get. It's just a gauntlet to the boss. I mean, that's all it is. Nearly everything in the area can and will kill you, especially that stupid frickin' boat that is impossible to steer. It's hard for me to compare Corona Mountain to the others because it's literally just the final area before you fight the boss. I'm still gonna go by my criteria. I don't really like the vibes. The music is alright, but yeah, surprisingly, I don't like the vibe of dying in lava or dying on spikes or dying on fire. Maybe this is kinda cheap, but I'm just gonna throw it into F tier because even the boss fight is just kind of fine. Like, it's not the worst boss fight in Mario history, but I'll keep Corona Mountain in F tier. The last area we have is Isle Delfino, just as a whole, and Isle Delfino is literally my favorite hub area of any Mario game, and it's not even close. It's so fun to explore. There's all kinds of extra shines and blue coins coins to get. And there's nothing about it that's like overly deadly, so you do have kind of the relaxing vibe that you have in Bianco Hills, where it's kind of like, oh yeah, there's some missions that aren't super easy, but I don't have to worry about a ton of crazy hazards like lava or pits or whatever. And being able to grab all the different nozzles and use those to get secret shines or just get shines in the area overall, I mean, it's just so much fun, and the music is an absolute banger. I mean, that's not even up for debate. But yeah, Isle Delfino is a great area. It's the hub area, so it's also kind of hard to compare to the other areas in that way, but it's still S tier for me, and it goes above Pina Park because it's the best hub world in any Mario game in my opinion, and I easily have the most fun when I'm in Isle Delfino. Alrighty everybody, there is my tier list for all the areas in Super Mario Sunshine. I am curious to see what you all think, so let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with this list, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.